The tree stand habit that has killed and maimed far more hunters than grizzlies is climbing disconnected, and the worst unprotected moment is one most careful men barely notice. A fall from an ordinary stand can put you on packed dirt, a rock, a log, or your own gear at 20 to 30 miles an hour. That can break your spine, damage the cord, and leave you paralyzed before you can catch hold of anything. A harness can catch the fall, but if you hunt alone and cannot reach your phone or get weight off those leg straps, being caught can turn into a hanging emergency in the cold. We prepare for guns and bears, rightly so, then treat the climb like furniture. After 56 years in the woods, I have learned ordinary things punish confidence, we quit checking. So let's put the risk in its proper place. Then, walk through the fall, the 5 failure moments, the ground-to-ground connection routine, and what happens if the harness has to work. The first mistake is thinking a bear is the bigger worry. Bear country deserves respect. So does a firearm. But if you climb into an elevated stand, the hazard most likely to change your life is often the ladder under your boots. Pennsylvania's trauma registry recorded tree stand falls as a leading cause of deer hunting injury. Across this country, accidental tree stand injuries are counted in the thousands each year. Recorded fatal bear attacks across North America average well under 1 a year. That comparison is not meant to make light of bears. A bear can hurt you. You prepare for one. The mistake is being careful with the rare danger, then treating the climb you make before daylight and again after dark like it cannot happen to you. After 56 years in the woods, I have learned the woods do not need a monster to hurt you. A wet step and a man telling himself he has made this climb 100 times will do. So put your harness and connection system with the gear you will not leave behind. Inspect the stand. Plan to stay connected from the ground until both feet are back on it. An ordinary fall can leave you with chest trauma, a spinal injury, permanent disability, or unable to move when help is a long way off. And before you decide a 20-foot stand is a small fall, understand what that hard stop does to the spine, chest, and head. A fall from a typical stand can have you moving 20 to 30 miles an hour before you touch anything. Packed soil, a rock, a log, even the gear you set below the stand stops that motion in a hurry. And when it stops, the force runs up through your feet, hips, and spine. That is where you see burst fractures, broken vertebrae, dislocations, chest injuries, and sometimes a spinal cord injury that changes a man's life right there in the leaves. In the Pennsylvania Trauma Registry, 77% of recorded stand falls involved more than one injury. A man can hit the stand on the way down, twist, strike the ground, and have more going on than the broken arm he can see. So if somebody falls, do not make him walk it off or try to climb down. Get help. Keep unnecessary movement to a minimum when a spine injury is possible. And being young, strong, and balanced does not change any of this. A slick boot, a moment of dizziness, or a failed step gives gravity the same say it has with everybody. Up in the stand, 20 feet feels like a view. On the ground, it is a hard stop, which is why the protection has to be working before the first step leaves the ground. Put on a properly fitted full-body harness on the ground. Before you climb, attach it to a compatible lifeline or approved tree connection. Then stay attached all the way up, across the ladder to platform step, through the sit, and all the way down. Most stand falls happen during that climb or descent, not while a man is settled on the platform. That is when one hand leaves the ladder, one boot searches for a step, and your weight moves from one support to another. A vertical lifeline lets the sliding connection travel with you. The harness spreads the stopping force across your thighs, pelvis, chest, and shoulders. But the system has to fit, and it has to be managed. A tether clipped too low or left with too much slack can still let you swing hard into the trunk or strike the ground, and leave the old single strap belts and chest-only rigs out of it. In a fall, they can fold you forward, crush the chest, or choke you. "I'm careful" is not an answer to a wet rung, a dizzy spell, or a cable that lets go. I would rather adjust a strap in the dark than explain why I decided one ordinary climb did not need it. Before your next hunt, check the attachment point, buckles, webbing, tether, and relief straps. Then pay attention to the 5 places connection and 3-point contact most often get lost. The first place is before you climb. Check old wood, rusted hardware, cables, steps, rails, and any damage. A stand can look sound and fail when you shift your weight. Rot, corrosion, and a snapped cable give you no time to catch yourself. If something is suspect, do not test it with your body weight. Retire it or repair it first. Then comes the climb. Keep 3 points of contact. Haul your rifle, bow, pack, and gear after you are secure. Gear in one hand takes away the hand you need when a wet boot slips. The ladder to platform step is another bad spot, and coming down is the same problem backward. You are reaching, shifting weight, and briefly unsupported. Stay connected through both transitions. Then there is the tired sit. Falls have happened when hunters fell asleep or got lightheaded. If you are overly tired, dizzy, or affected by alcohol or sedating medicine, do not climb. And those old homemade stands on your own land, knowing them does not stop hidden rot. A stand that held you for years proved it held you yesterday. I do not guess at old wood, old cable, or a tired head, but a harness and lifeline only help when the rope, anchor, fit, and tether are sound. A bad setup can still hurt you. A lifeline is not safety because it is tied to a tree. It is safety after the whole system earns that name. Before you climb, inspect the lifeline, tether, hardware, sliding device, knots, and anchor. Then test the connection low to the ground according to that system's instructions. A worn rope, bad knot, or weak anchor can fail under load and leave you falling after you trusted it to catch you. That false confidence can make a man climb harder than he ought to. The anchor needs to be above the stand where the system calls for it. A small trunk, a leaning tree, some towers, and some stand setups may not give you a safe place for a lifeline. Do not invent an anchor because you came out to hunt. Pick another tree or hunt from the ground. And public land is conditional. If the rules allow it, use a removable lifeline and take it down when you leave. If one truly will not work there, stay in the full body harness. Use an approved connection or lineman's belt where it applies. Keep 3 points of contact and haul your gear. Do not replace a missing lifeline with a guess. A bad anchor is a bridge with one rotten support. Looks useful right up until you put your weight on it. And even when the system catches you, hanging below that stand starts a different clock. A harness catches the fall. It does not finish the job. When you hang still, the straps press around your thighs and pelvis. Blood can pool in your legs. You can get lightheaded, pass out, and in as little as 5 to 30 minutes, it can become a life-threatening collapse. Cold, dehydration, and being alone make a caught fall a hanging emergency. Before any solo climb, check this on the ground. Put the harness on. Reach the relief straps with both hands. Make sure your phone or communication device is reachable while suspended. Know how you will put weight through your feet and who can start rescue if you cannot. If you are hanging, use the relief straps and move your legs. Call for help as soon as you can. Do not try climbing down on numb, weak legs. That is how one fall becomes 2. I move stands too often for a lifeline on every tree. That is conditional. Portable, removable systems take work, but they can move with the stand. If a full lifeline truly will not work, use compatible mobile fall protection and keep the rescue plan. This is where I draw the line. If I cannot explain how I get down after the fall, I do not climb up alone. A harness buys time. It does not make any stand risk-free. Connected climbing has to become ordinary. Experience only helps when it becomes a habit you repeat the same way in the dark, when you are tired, and when the hunt is supposed to be a quick one. In reports from hunters who fell, poor judgment or carelessness was often the cause they named. And after full-body harness use rose, reported stand injuries went down. Those numbers have limits. Hospital records miss near misses and smaller falls. Voluntary surveys can lean toward folks already paying attention. Older injury cases involved stand designs that do not match every modern stand. Still, wet boots, weak hardware, a tired head, and gravity have not changed a bit. So make the rule plain. Full body harness on before your feet leave the ground. Connected through the climb, the platform step, the sit, and the descent. Haul your gear, check the stand and the lifeline. Know how you get help or put weight on your feet if the harness catches you. If you only hunt from the ground, this particular fall risk does not belong to you, but the habit does. Blinds, steep ground, and a scramble over rough country can all punish a man who assumes he will catch himself. Ground hunting avoids the fall, but crowded gun season brings line of fire concerns. Make that plan separately. I hunted with my great-grandfather and my father, and now I hunt with my grandson. The tradition worth keeping is coming home able to take the next one with you. What part of your climb has become so familiar you quit checking it? And before you climb, can you explain how you would get down after a harness catches you? Next time, I will lay out how I inspect an old stand, ladder, and climbing aid before anybody puts weight on it. Clip in at the ground. Stay connected until you are back there.